Hello fellow Blueprints players. In this video we'll take a look at the outrageous power of the Tomorrow Hallway, which can create some interesting effects as you're seeing right here, other than being able to just spawn a outrageous amount of items, keys, and other things. Well, let's take a look at what this can do coupled with the experiment. Give you one item and drop your keys to 0. So in this run right here, what we're gonna take a look at, I got the experiment. Each time you draft an upgraded floor plan paired with gain one random item, set your keys to 0. Now you can trigger the Tomorrow Hallway experiment with either draft tomorrow room, draft upgraded floor plan, or draft hallway from hallway. Now if you don't know what the upgraded what the tomorrow hallway is, it is an hallway that says when you draft it, add another one to tomorrow draft pool. So you draft the first one, then tomorrow you can draft 2, then the day after that you can draft 3, and then you can draft 4, and then 5, and so on. And as long as you draft all of them, the next day you're gonna get an additional one. So, as you can see here, I'm gonna draft as many upgraded floor plan as possible in the hope of getting as many items as possible. I already gained coin purse and running shoes by just drafting a couple upgraded floor plans. Now in the corners, you can't draft those always, so yeah, one's gonna take parlor here. We get gear wrench. And now in this run, I've already added a lot of these always to the pool, which is why you're gonna see them showing up so much. Now the first thing I want to do is trigger it 5 times as fast as possible, because what that does is will allow me to go into my shelter, which I already drafted on the outside, and that's what I'm doing right now, so that I can use the radiation monitor and make all doors free. Because since I'm dropping my keys to 0 pretty much almost every time I draft a room, I won't have any keys. I mean, I'll have a key card, but that's not gonna be enough. We will find locked doors, but if we do this, that makes all rooms in the manor basically free. And as you can see here, we have successfully unlocked everything in the manor. And now we can head over back to the entrance hall and basically just have fun drafting. Now this experiment is fun. It's fun to mess around with. You can get a lot of cool items. It's one of the few ways you can get some of the rarer items. Unfortunately, as you'll see, we won't really be getting certain rare, even rarer items. I do have Banner of the King, so I choose hallway because of course we want those tomorrow hallways. And again, this works with 3 experiments. You have draft hallway from hallway, draft tomorrow room, draft upgraded floor plan. They all work. The hallway from hallway is a bit less early on, but when you have like 30 hallways in your deck, yeah, I'll trigger pretty often. And here we're getting watering can, which is one of the few ways you can get this item. The other one is, I believe you can get it in greenhouse or tool shed, and really not anywhere else. You'll see there are some items here. Again, I believe you can get, and we will get, a telescope, which otherwise it's either lost and found or ladyship chamber. You would pick this. Not sure why I did that. I guess just to get it out of the draft pool, so I have a higher chance to get it always. It's got resources in it, but that room is kind of bad. I did that room just for funsies. Usually I would never pick that spare gray hole upgrade. Yeah, I was thinking about commissary, I think, because I could buy items. And the thing about this is that if you get a lot of items and you get a commissary, you're just gonna get gems, keys, and bananas. Here I get a lab, I'm not sure why, just because it's just a corner. That allows easy access to that door. I hear the metal detector, but I cannot find the item. I think it takes me a while to figure out where the item is. Yeah, there it is, that one coin. Observatory can be good in these runs, because if you have Inkwell, you know, you can reroll easily, but I think I take Dark Room just to get it out of the way. I don't really need Observatory. I don't think I get Observatory in this run. I go back to get Battery Pack because I realized I could just get in and, you know, I wouldn't have a Dark Room dark because shelter. We gain car keys, but car keys are kind of common. Nothing to write home about. Here I am torn between corridor and courtyard. Because corridor gets me to that left side. Courtyard didn't. And here I think I picked Grey Hole. Yes. Because it's free. All the doors can be opened. We can get the resources. We can get the lever. Not that the lever matters, but and now, yeah, we pull the lever anyway, just for funs. But obviously, we don't really have to. Now you can have this experiment instead of having, you know, the items. You can have the antechamber doors unlocked, and once you trigger it 4 times, you basically can open the antechamber fully. That's fun. And we gain Hallpass, which is huge. Now when you're doing this kind of runs, Hallpass is insane. Because basically it makes you have infinite steps. Remember, what Hallpass does is that you don't spend steps when you travel from hallway to hallway. And because we're drafting so many hallways, we are essentially moving around for free. And also makes hallways that cost gems free if you draft them from an hallway. So that means your vestibule, your passageway, your foyer, and your aquarium are now free. We get into planetarium. We grab that, which is completely useless because we cannot use keys at all. Because all doors are free now. And we get more tomorrow hallway going on here. We're still getting items. We got a coupon book now. And eventually the game is going to run out of options. And you're going to see what happens when the game runs out of options, of items to give us. There's the telescope. So this could be a way, if you just cannot, for some reason, find telescope, you could do this and get items until you get telescope. I don't know, maybe. I wouldn't suggest you do this just for the telescope, but somehow maybe you cannot find it at all. Usually I would get it through either Lost and Found right there or Ladyship. Here I guess secret passage because I want to see what happens if I do that one. Maybe I can sneak in an extra. Yeah, as you can see, I dropped the 2 tomorrow always. Look at that. As a matter of fact, when you're trying to build your deck with tomorrow always, if you draft a secret passage, you run out of tomorrow always in your deck. You use a secret passage, you can draft an extra one. So you can draft 2 more than your previous day. Which helps expedite the process a little bit, I guess. Now, here, I'm thinking of going Chapel because it gets me to the center. And Breakfast Nook, why do I go Breakfast Nook here? I'm not sure. I guess I just want the steps. Here I'm getting a silver key. I already got a silver key previously. And that is exactly what the game does when it runs out of items. It just gives you silver keys over and over and over. I think I went back for Snook because it wasn't upgraded floor plan. That's right. Here I think I go Chapel because it just has more doors and I don't care about money. I just want to upgrade floor plans to fill my inventory with items. Let's see. Do I go guest bedroom or empty closet? I guess I go empty closet because it's like it's 6. Is it 6 items here? Because I'm sheltered? No, I'm not. It would be 6 items if I'm sheltered, but it's only 4 items. As you can see, another silver key was obtained. So yeah, once you run out of items, you can get the silver keys over and over. I was hoping this experiment would give like stuff from the showroom, so I could smuggle things from the showroom, but you can't do that. So apparently you don't get anything that's in the showroom. I have not seen repellent, and I have not seen any of the major keys, except silver key. Silver key is the only one that you get. Not even Secret Garden. Not even that is in that list of items apparently. Here I redraw, trying to get a better room. I think I go comfort. No, I wanted to go next to that empty closet, but I would have to go archives to get it. I think I can just go workshop for an extra item, which now it actually shows what happens when you have all the items and go in workshop, and it would spawn a guarantee item. Now it's just spawns money because we have all the items right now. And there you go. Look at all the items we have, and you will see later. Actually, we'll see all the silver keys. They don't show up in your inventory. You only see one, but you'll see that I'll actually have multiple of them later on as we go to Code Shack. Code Shack, when you're doing this, is kind of powerful. At least in the mid stages, when you're getting to a lot of always, then you don't want to use it because it does take up a space. If you just want to fill your house with always, then and usually what I would put in Code Shack, you would think Hallpass would be great because you can just get it from Code Shack and you have your Hallpass. But if you have it there, it won't spawn normally. So for some reason you're triggering this experiment over and over, right? And hoping to get your Hallpass, but it's in the Code Shack, you won't get it until you draft Code Shack. So in my opinion, instead of putting that, I would put, you could go with the Emerald Bracelet, which I think is what I have. Or you could put the Compass, which allows you to spin rooms, which can sometimes be useful because you're always may get drafted in a position where you don't really want the doors to be, so you just spin around and get a better one. Here, I think we're sort of approaching the end of the run here. I'm trying to fill in all the remaining spaces. I'm start counting how many always I have because I want to see if I can. I mean, how many I do have in my deck still. But this was pretty early on in my hallway runs. So you take that here. At this point, I think the game ran out of always. It might have one more, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, courtyard for an additional item is the silver key anyway. And I mean, when you have all these items, you basically have. If you get a workshop, you can build whatever you want, because I believe it gives you every single item that you can do for crafting. Yeah, battery pack, compass, shovel, broken lever, they're all in there, yeah. Metal detector, coin person, lucky rabbit's foot, everything is in there, yes. There you go, I have emerald bracelet in the Code Shack, and I believe as I go in the Code Shack, I go in now, and I think I go in later as well. I get it, and I don't think it doesn't even show up, look at that. It's not in the inventory. It doesn't even show up. Like, the screen cannot allow that much. And as you can see here, it's in the inventory. It's not there. And then you can see that I have a few silver keys in my inventory. And I believe, now I put it back in. But, yeah, I guarantee you those silver keys, they're in the inventory. You can see all the items here that I have. And just to show you how outrageous this can be with the silver keys, this is a clip from another run, and you'll see that, yeah, look at all those silver keys. Look at them. They're all in my inventory. I cannot use them because, you know, I don't have anything else, anywhere to use them. There you go. That's what the experiment can do. However, this is not done, because the Tomorrow Always can do a lot more than just this. And again, this was early on. Like, I don't have a lot of them here. And again, Hallpass. This is so powerful. But actually, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at my latest one with the always, which was pretty nuts. Alright, so that is day 44. And I have, I think, more than 30 always in my deck, which is interesting. Now, I don't actually fill the entire room with the entire manor with always here. I think I get a couple, like 3 or 4 places that are not tomorrow always. Now, here I draft a tomorrow always immediately on the left. Now, for some reason, I don't know if it's true or not, but I can't seem to be able to draft it on the right. Like, if you turn right from entrance zone, it never shows up. But on the left, sometimes it does. I don't know what it is. But if you draft it, like, if you cannot draft the entrance zone and go right and draft it, but if you draw on that tile from above, then you can do it for some reason. So here I draft Observatory. I was monking Observatory to make sure I would get Observatory so I can get a bunch of rerolls. I'm gonna need those rerolls in a bit, because my plan was to get a lab, early lab, to get an experiment, and then planetarium. And you're gonna see why I need planetarium, because I'm gonna do some sneaky things. Here I'm wondering why the hell my cursor stayed a hand, and it will fix itself in a minute. And here I start redrawing for lab. We need that lab so we can start an experiment. And then, actually, I'm not using the item experiment here. I'm using another one. Because while the item experiment is powerful, there is another one I want here. It took me about 10 resets to get the right combination. Here we got lab. So I still need either of the tomorrow always upgraded or always from always. But then the one that I want is gain 1 key for every 2 always in your house, which is gonna give me an absurd amount of keys. So we can see how far that can be pushed. Here we go. Now I'm gonna be opening the map a lot here, because I need to plan my route in a very specific way. Now, I don't know why I'm drafting these exactly, but I think I just want to circle around to the entrance while drafting things, because now I have limited steps. Because I won't get an Hallpass, I need to be careful where I go and don't backtrack too much, or I risk getting stuck. There's not many opportunities to get back steps either, given that, I mean, all your drafting are always at this point. Yeah, redraw, because I'm trying to go down. You can redraw, and up there you always gets, you know, has another direction here. I think I redraw. I need to go down to that tile. It's just not giving it to me, and there we go. So now, if you draft within this tile by going down, that can have a tomorrow always. But for some reason, if you draft it from the entrance to right, I've never seen it. Not even by re-rolling. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just unlucky. I don't know. And here I start redrawing like a madman, because I need planetarium. See, planetarium, you can, when you get in planetarium with the telescope, you can look at planets. And every time you do that, it adds permanently a certain item spawn in planetarium, and you can do that up to 5 times. I believe I have all 5 here. And one of them, like you get these 5 upgrades of planetarium, you get them in a random order. But yeah, look at that. There's an apple, dig spot, trunk, 1 die, and a prism key. And that prism key we're gonna use to do something sneaky. I think this is the best way to get prism key right now. The other ways you get prism key, there's the music room, but it's not guaranteed. There's the locksmith, but it's not guaranteed. And I believe that's it. Is there a way you get prism key? Can you dig them up maybe? But it's not guaranteed. I believe that's the only guaranteed way to get prism key. Maybe in the music room. If you exhausted all the other keys though, you need to have all the other keys in your possession. And here, we just start opening doors and draft tomorrow always. And we already have 31 keys, and it's just gonna get worse because we're 37 now. We're getting 6 keys. Remember, the game is giving us a key for every 2 always we have, and this is gonna get wild in a bit. So what I'm doing here, I'm drafting basically 2 columns at the same time. I'm drafting the east wing and also column 4. That way we'll save a few steps. Because in the wing here, the always can only be in this configuration, and so it guarantees me access to all those rooms on the 4th column. Now the corner here gets a little bit more tricky. Now this one is always the same because it's on the wing. You cannot draft always on the corner because you only get corner rooms or dead ends on the corner, usually under normal conditions. I don't actually open that. I open this one. I open for a north one. For some reason, I find that the only way to get an hallway in this spot here is to draft from below. Like the 2 spots on the left and on the right of the antechamber, for some reason you can't get always if you draft from the side, like from the corners. And here's where I want to use the prism key. I don't think I use it right now, though. I want to draft more always first. Because the idea is, if you use a prism key in the corner from an hallway, then the game has to give you an hallway. And there are no corner hallways in the game except bullet hole, which I don't have. So it's gonna give me a door with at least 3 doors. So it could be an extra way to get tomorrow hallway. Here you redraw. I'm hoping to get an hallway that goes north. I don't. Well, free reroll is gone. So I'm trying to hit north here and fill every single slot that I can. Let's see what I get here. Again, I would rather get something that goes north. I think I reroll a few times and I don't find it. Okay, let's just get that. Move on. I'm guaranteed to get an hallway that goes north here because I'm on the wing again. There it is. And then I just hope to get and fill all of the tiles up there. Especially the one just below antechamber. This is guaranteed. And now the one on this tile, I needed to go up and right. And I don't get it immediately. I think it takes me 1 or 2 rerolls to get it. Still not good. There it is. Okay, now I have access to all of those rooms. So I will draft one here. Doesn't matter the shape. Let's need to draft it. Do I do great hole here just to get it? Yeah, I do great hole here because I just want to get it out of the pool. So when I use my prism key, I'll have more chance of the tomorrow hallway. Also, I'm looking for a gem as well because I'm a little worried about my step count, and I still have to draft a corner on the top left, and I'm hoping for Kitson. And I have 50 rerolls, so I'm pretty confident I can get to spawn Kitson and eat some stuff. I don't even pull that. No, I don't. There you go. No reason to pull an antechamber lever. Why should we? Again, we draft this from below because apparently it's the only way to get an hallway here. And here, I'm hoping for Kitson. And look at that. It just happened to be there without needing to reroll. And just buy everything here, of course. Club sandwich, buy all the bananas. And I even buy the chef salad, which is completely useless, as you'll see in a bit, because I have no green rooms in my house. But I bought it just for fun, because, you know, money is useless. And meanwhile, as we were doing this, I don't know why I'm looking at the map here. I think I'm looking at my notes on how many of these always I have. While we were doing this, we are at 185 keys. Yeah. And I think I get almost doubles that at the end of this run. And you just draw all the hallways. I will start looking at the map a lot here, I think. Because, yeah, I need to see how many hallways they still need and start counting the hallways. I believe I have 34 in my pool right now. So I want to see how many I have so I can draft basically all of them except one or two and then draft that corner. So I'll be counting a lot here. And yeah, the idea is I want to fill the 4 squares right below where I am. And then fill the corner. I think I miscount here. I have to do it again. Yeah, I have to count all of them again. Just make sure it's those 4 corners, and then I only have one, potentially 2 more always in my pool. So let's do that. Fill those 4 corners. These 2 are pretty much guaranteed to have always. That go to the right. And now we get this one, which I believe I don't get tomorrow all the way in here because I don't draft it, but I do get. I think I go spare Great Hall. Yes, and this is just to get it out of the pool, so it won't show up later. So that means I can draft an extra hallway here, and now I think I go for the corner, and then I come back and fill in all those blank spots. No, I do another one. Okay. And then I go for the corner. I think now I go for the corner, right? And just like that, while we were doing that, we are almost 300 keys. I don't know where Simon is keeping all 300 keys, but he is somewhere. Well, you know, we saw previously all those items we had basically like 30, no, maybe not 30, but like more than 20 items for sure. A bunch of silver keys. Guess he's putting all those items in the pocket dimension that every single video game protagonist has. Just like that, we have more than 300 keys now. A draft corridor there again, just to get it out of the draft pool. And here I'm thinking to either go for the corner or open this. And I think I'm looking at, because the reason here's the problem. The only one that I can draft here is passageway and tunnel, actually. And I think I get to draft tunnel in the end because foyer and secret passage, well, aquarium, they all cost a gem, and I don't have gems right now. I could have went into the gray hole, the second gray hole, maybe we would have gotten gems there. There you go, prism key on the corner gives me an hallway, which goes to the right, but you know the wall's on the right, which shouldn't happen in normal gameplay, but you can force it to happen with prism keys. Secret passage will do that as well. If you get a secret passage to draft on a corner, you get some weird stuff happening. Thankfully, it doesn't break the game. Would be cool if you were able to just go outside, but there's an extra hole tomorrow hallway. I believe the last 2 rooms are passageway and tomorrow hallway. Because I see tunnel here, I'm thinking, okay, just get that out of the pool, so I can draft the other tomorrow hallway in one of those 2 tiles. Now I'm not gonna draft from tunnel because if I do that, one of the 3 options is going to be tunnel all the time, so I basically have 2 options. And there's tomorrow hallway, and now the only one that is left, according to my calculation, is passageway. Because I ran out tomorrow hallways. Cannot draft foyer, cannot draft aquarium, cannot draft secret passage, because I have no gems. And so, as eventually, we have to redraw a bunch of times. And by a bunch of times, I mean a bunch of times. And there it is. That's passageway. And there you go. This is in house almost entirely made of hallways. I don't think you can do better than that. again, you can maybe, I mean, obviously, if you add more hallways, you can probably get rid of corridor, tunnel, passageways, then 2 great halls, and just fill with tomorrow hallways. Maybe. The only problem I see with that is having enough steps to do everything. Well, I have 39 steps, so maybe the kitchen could be removed, but what are you gonna put there? You would need another prism key. Where would you get another prism key? Maybe, and again, maybe you could smuggle it from a previous day. You know, if you have a showroom, you can get a prism key from planetarium, get the showroom, get moon pendant, and then maybe you could smuggle it. But I don't know. Again, code check is not an option because you would need to waste the room to get the code check, and that's not what you want. Maybe you could put it instead of kitchen. I don't know. But no, you wouldn't be able to do that because you only have 2 corners. You need planetarium for one of the prism key that you used in one of the corners, and then you would need the lab for the experiment. Now, you could technically say, well, you could put the lab outside, but then you would have to be extremely lucky with your drafting, because you wouldn't be able to reroll at all. And yeah, too many RNG checks. Instead, if we have observatory, we can just reroll the rooms, get them in the directions we want. And here I'm just taking a stroll around and just running out of steps for fun, and to show you that when you fill your house with always, it does get this liminal spacey effect of just having this hallway over and over and over, and here just going to loop around these 4 hallways because it's funny, and really that's all there is to it. Now the visual effect is very cool though, gotta give it that. That's about it. That was the almighty power of the tomorrow hallways.